What's up, y'all? We are back. We are back. And by we, I mean me and my puppy Ralphie. There he is. Ralphie's here. Looks like my watch page just popped on. Turn that off. All right. So let me go ahead and say hello to everybody. So we got Silver Surfer in the house, Devin Hood, Castor Troy, Vara's here, Rosebell, OJ, and Toothpaste, Jack Draper. How's it going, everybody? I don't know. Ralphie ain't wanting to sit still. I don't know how long he's going to be in my lap. He wants to play, and I just started the stream. All right. Wanted to ask, let's see, Vara. So I saw you had a little go back and forth with Jaren last night. And for those of you who missed it, Jaren did a 10-hour live stream just shitting on his audience. And his audience at this point is like a bunch of hate watchers and then a bunch of globers who are basically shitting on him while pretending that they like him now. It's great. 10-hour stream. How was that? Did you enjoy your go back and forth? Remember when I was trying to tell you that he's an actor and total liar, a piece of shit shill? Remember when I told you that and you kind of laughed at me? I bet you're coming around now, huh? All right. YouTube says, I was going off on Jaren until he blocked me. Roll the losing dice says, you were right. He flipped to the globe. Yeah, he hasn't officially said I'm a glober now, but like he will say, guys, well, you have to look at those observations. It can't be explained on an AE map, but it can be explained on a globe. So, we just have to look at that. So he's making it really obvious. All right. But yeah, I was watching a little bit of that clown show. And then I went and got some food and came back and watched some other shit. And then I noticed he was still streaming. And then took the dog out, did some more things, blah, blah, blah. Noticed he's still streaming. Dude, who does a 10-hour stream? I've never done a 10-hour stream. I've never done a 9-hour stream or a 8-hour stream or a 7-hour stream or a 6-hour stream. I think the most I ever went was 4.5 hours. The most ever. So I don't understand how somebody can do 10 hours of anything. All right. But anywho, we got ourselves a super chat coming in from Events and More with Chris G. Says, woohoo, Jake. Woohoo. No, 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 no. Woohoo. No, 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 no. Woohoo. No, 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 no. Got my EJ. By Edge and BoJ. It wasn't easy, but nothing yeah. Woohoo! And then my mama. Woohoo! All right. That's what happens if you send me a super chat that says woohoo, Jake. I didn't know that was going to happen, but now I do. All right. Let me say hi to some more of my party people. Randolph Charles says hi, Jake. And I'm sure all my mods are here as well. Most of them. So what's up, mods? Rosebell. She's here. All right. Got Dirds here. Says hi to Ralphie. All right. OJ and Toothpaste says, what's up, Ralph, Jake, and all the mods? Okay, sweet. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, I was thinking, since I haven't done it in a little while, we could do one of these. Was up? What's up? There you go. It's been a while since I did one of them. Now I have done one. The dog totally is looking at me weird. Yes, I do that sometimes. I don't think my dog's ever seen me do that. I don't think I have done one since I owned Ralph. Did I freak you out when I did that? He wants to play so bad, and I just started the stream. Okay. So, got a couple super chats. Looks like it came in while I was doing my was up. Let me go rustle those up. All right. The world is a lie too. Says, keep up the great content, Jake. You're the best YouTuber. You deserve over 100K subs. You know, I probably could have got there if I'd have stuck with doing the football picks. But then that leaves me with a bunch of subscribers who only care about football picks. And I'm more interested in quality subs than I am quantity of subs at this point. So I know I can do certain things to get subs easier. And I don't mind making, you know, NFL content that exposes that the games are rigged. But the picks was drawing a different type of crowd that I didn't really like that much. And so if I would have stuck with the picks, and if I would have done better with the picks, let's say, I think I could have got to 100 by this point. It was mainly the sub count kind of stopped blowing up when I stopped making picks. But anyway, I'll maybe get there one day to 100K. Or maybe I'll just go lay by the bay, you know, play with some clay and eat some hay. Fucking your dad's fat and gay, you know? What do you say? All right. Old school Adam Sandler joke there. Why? Don't know. And I had another super chat coming in. I'm going to go get that one too. It's from Tyler05. Excuse me. Ryler05 says, Jake, the doinks are the smoking gun. Someone needs to make doink statistics for all the years of the NFL. Yeah, somebody should do that, but not me. So check it out. Here's what it used to be. Like one in a whole season. Maybe two at the most. And that's it. So maybe one, maybe two, but that's it. In a whole season. And then it turned into like almost guaranteed 2 every week. I'd say right now we're creeping on almost 3 a week. It's probably like 2.5 doinks per week. If I was to just like take a guesstimate, It's going to be like between a 2 and a 3 doinks per week. Every week. So then when you times that by 17 weeks or 17 games, or 18 weeks, I should say, because there's actually 18 weeks of football. So when you times that by the 18 weeks of regular season ball, between 2 and 3 doinks, I mean, shit, what are you looking at? Like around 40 doinks in a season? That's quite the increase, right? Let me pull out the calculator and do a little bit of quick math here. 2.5 doinks per week times 18 weeks, 45 doinks, right? It's quite an increase from, maybe 2 in a season. And still people are like, you're crazy if you think they do anything to those footballs. You're crazy if you think there's technology in the balls, you big weirdo. So there you go. Starting with some topics that are not related to the main topic I'm going to be talking about tonight, but that's cool. Anybody's got any sort of question about anything that I talk about, you can always ask it whenever, I guess. And I'll give you my thoughts. All right. And here comes a super chat now. Says, Happy New Year, Jake. This is from Simone Bettina. Happy New Year, Jake. May 2025 be filled with success, good health, happiness, and prosperity. P.S. Found you through football content, but I'm here for the long run. Enjoy all your content. Yeah, the football content does bring in a lot of people, and I'm glad for that. And then I got a bunch of hardcore old school subs that are still around. Some people have been following me since 2016, believe it or not. So got a nice mix of people here, and going live is one of my favorite things to do with the channel. Sitting and editing videos is not that much fun, but going live and hanging out with you guys and telling you what I think about this, that, or the other, I kind of enjoy it. In fact, I rather enjoy it quite a bit. So thank you for being here on this new year, hanging out with me. And I hope to give you more of what you enjoyed so far. I hope to give you more of it in 2025. Thank you, Simone Bettina. And we got The World is a Lie 2 says, of course, the public thinks sports are real. Most still believe Niner, oneer, and politics are real. Yeah, especially politics. Trying to tell somebody who loves Trump that shit ain't real and that Trump's a pro wrestler and he's just pretending. And they got fake Trumps going around like fake Santa Clauses. Trumpers don't like to hear that shit. They're like, nuh-uh! He really is fighting back against deep state. That's why they're trying to kill him. Why you think that guy done tried to blow up his hotel? It's because he's trying to fix America, make America great. And they're trying to blow up his hotel. Tell me politics ain't real. When someone tries to blow up your hotel, we'll see if you think it's real then. Right? Yeah, that's who we're dealing with in a lot of cases. So yes, I'm with you. Some of the hardcore Trumpers will tell you that 911 was an inside job, but they're totally hook, line, and sinker on board with Trump. Colin P with a very generous donation says, Happy New Year, Jake. Hopefully the new pup is working out. He's been pretty good. I mean, he's a puppy and he's always wanting to play and get into shit. And so sometimes he can be a handful, like when I have to try and get something done. But taking him out on walks and everyone, reacting to how cute he is and him wagging his tail and being happy to meet anyone that he meets. And he wants to meet every dog. It's just been fun to have a dog that is just so happy to meet and greet the world all the time. So the only downfall is that he just wants to play almost all the time. So it's like the only time I can try and do anything is when he's sleepy, which is not very often. But isn't he sweet? Look at him. Ah, look at that baby. All right. All right, yeah, get them likes up. I'll right out of the gate, hit that thumbs up. We're going to have a lot of fun. In fact, I'm going to start the show right about now. So buckle in, y'all. It's showtime. All right, let's start with some mainstream media because that's where these stories come from, right? So rather than listen to somebody give me their opinion, we'll watch some mainstream media reports, and then between me and you, we'll form our own opinion about this thing. But I'm sure some of you guys have already looked into it already. I've only looked into it a little bit, and I only needed a little bit to pretty much find all I needed to find. So with that said, let's boogie.
Sudden terror on Bourbon Street.
There were just bodies and the screams. You cannot think about, unhear that. It was chaos and very, very scary.
All right, got a super chat coming in from C Kilo. It says, all these loosers are making me loose my mind. Ha! Y'all gonna make me loose my mind up in here, up in here. Y'all going to make me act like a fool up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my cool up in here, up in here. Act the fool, lose my cool up in here, hey, up in here. All right. So yeah, one of my pet peeves is when people spell the word loose, but then they mean the word lose. So yeah, a lot of people can't spell the word lose. They spell it like loose, and it's one of my pet peeves. And this guy knows that it's one of my pet peeves. So here he is sending me a super chat, including my pet peeve in caps. Thank you, C Kilo, for making me explain my pet peeve. Yeah. It happens a lot, especially with the NFL content and people saying like, oh, the Raiders are going to loose on purpose, All right. Let me get back on track now before I get off on a tangent on something that don't matter. All right. There we go. Back to the New Orleans truck attack. Death toll rises to 15 in New Orleans truck attack. Wow, that's a lot of people to take out with a vehicle.
Everything the car is hitting, it's getting thrown.
The vehicle ran through a crowd of people. There's multiple injuries, multiple casualties. They need to canal in Bourbon.
Just hours after the clock struck midnight, the driver in a pickup truck went around barricades, according to police, killing those celebrating New Year's Eve along the iconic street. At least 15 people were killed, dozens others injured.
This is not just an act of terrorism. This is evil.
The suspect, identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar, a 42-year-old man from Texas who previously served in the U.S. military. He was driving a privately rented pickup truck from Turo, an Airbnb-type rental site for cars.
An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations.
Sure. So a guy decides he's going to use his vehicle as a deadly weapon, manages to kill 15 people, and just so happens he's got an ISIS flag, you guys. Okay. Before we go any further, I already know they're going to say that this guy acted on behalf of ISIS or was influenced by ISIS. I already know that. So my question to you guys is, have you ever known any actual person to be influenced by ISIS or any terrorist group and then, start making a plan to go do something bad? Do you know anyone like that who's ever even said, I think maybe I might go do something bad because I like ISIS and they, I just feel inspired to go do something bad. Do you know anyone who was ever inspired by ISIS to do anything? Do you know anyone that's been inspired by ISIS to do anything good or just anything? No, nobody knows anybody that ever did anything because they were inspired by ISIS. That's all I'm saying. Be real, be honest. You don't know a damn person, and nobody knows a person that ever did anything because of ISIS. But this guy did. That's the story, you guys. So nobody who we know, no actual people, ever get radicalized by ISIS. But there's this one guy here who happened to take out 15 people with his vehicle. He is the one who got radicalized. Wow. Quite the story. And we're just getting started.
Once the vehicle stopped, the driver reportedly opened fire on responding police officers.
Law enforcement returned fire, and the subject was pronounced deceased at the scene. 2 law enforcement officers were injured and transported to local hospitals.
And he has a showdown with the cops. He loses. He's pronounced dead.
Witnesses are asking questions about why the city's steel mechanical barricades weren't up prior to the attack.
There was police there at the entrance, a lot of police there, but the metal barricades were not up.
Bollards were not up because they are near completion.
The FBI, which has taken over the investigation, does not believe the suspect acted alone.
We're aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
And the Sugar Bowl for college football, scheduled to be held in New Orleans this evening, has been postponed.
All agree that it's in the best interest of everybody and public safety that we postpone the game for 24 hours.
And we are starting to learn more about the now 15 who were killed as a result of this attack, including 37-year-old Reggie Hunter from Baton Rouge. He had just texted his family Happy New Year a little earlier in the evening.
All right. So anyone who's ever went down the Taliban, ISIS, brown guy terrorist rabbit hole, you come to find out that all those major names who are brown guys associated with terrorism, they all tie back to American government, specifically American military, or 3-letter agencies such as FBI, CIA. So when you find out that these terrorist brown guys are basically funded and come from the government, our government, when you find out that these terrorist brown guys are basically us, the US government, when you find that out, then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, a guy who gets around barricades somehow manages to take out 15 people somehow. And he just so happens to have been radicalized by this terrorist group that ties back to being formed by the government. See how that works? All right. Here he is right here.
Series of voice recordings on video as he drove, they believe, from Texas to Louisiana to partake in these attacks, allegedly. The recordings talk about the turmoil in his family, the long-fought, bitter divorce he was going through. He discusses, according to officials briefed on the videos, where it appears they're made while he's driving, but it's in the dark, so you can't really see him on.
Blah, blah, blah. We all go through hard times and hardships. I'm sure some of you out there have been through some tough times, maybe lost some loved ones, been through a divorce or a breakup, what have you. Yeah, we all have to go through that stuff and deal with it. Nobody gets radicalized by ISIS. Like I've had friends that their marriage ends and they have, a wife and kids and the whole shebang, and their marriage ends. And I never once heard them go, you know what? I'm thinking about going and hurting a bunch of people and because I'm inspired by ISIS. Never once. So it's one of these super duper rare circumstances where one guy is inspired to do this by ISIS. And like I said earlier, if you dive down this rabbit hole, you find out ISIS is the American government, basically. And I got a super chat from T Native. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, yeah. And he was in the military, you guys. So his name is Abdul Jabbar. Freaking Kareem Abdul Shahid Rahid Shalom Shaleka Shaled. He's he was in the military, U.S. military. Yeah. Let me show a different video. That was just to get us started. Let me show the one where he's talking. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it just so happens, you guys, they have crystal clear footage of him talking.
Good evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch. So I've taken those skills and applied them to my career as a real estate agent, where I feel like what really sets me apart from other agents is my ability to be able to, one, be a fierce negotiator. So not only do I brilliantly market your property to make sure it gets sold as quickly as possible or gets leased as quickly as possible, but I'm also going to take every ounce of energy and put it into negotiating for you and for your property to get the best deal that you can possibly get for it. So once we get to the closing table, all the I's are going to be dotted.
So what do you guys think? Pretty convenient that they have this footage of the guy, right? That's him, you guys. The one person that we know who got radicalized by ISIS and decided to go drive a truck over a bunch of people. That's him. The one guy that we know who did that, right? Yep. You never know when that one out of tens of millions of people is going to decide to become radicalized. You never know. It could happen to you or anyone. You could just be walking down the street minding your own business and you win the radicalization lotto and you're like, you know, I'm a little bit depressed today. I think I'm going to go rent a vehicle and drive it over as many people as I can because I'm radicalized. And that's what ISIS would want me to do. So, yeah, think I'm going to do it, right? Like, how many people are going to have that thought and then act on it? And out of all the ways you can hurt people, kind of a creative, different way of doing things, right? He was the one who came up with that idea. When you just step back and look at it from like a standpoint of like, who do you really know that would ever or could ever get radicalized by ISIS? I know some crazy motherfuckers, and I know some stupid motherfuckers, and I know some crazy ass stupid motherfuckers, but nobody that I know would ever get radicalized by ISIS. Just wouldn't happen. All right.
All the T's are going to be crossed. Everything's going to go off without a hitch. And that is my word that I'm giving to you as your real estate agent. So if that's the type of agent you're looking for, reach out to me. You see my phone number on the page. If not, it's 832-774-9718. Give me a call. And even if you don't want to have me as your agent, call me with any questions you may have. So even if you're a first-time home buyer or you're an experienced real estate investor and you're just looking for somebody to help you with doing some analysis on some properties that you're looking at, either way, give me a call. I'm glad to help anytime.
Yeah, man. This guy here, he was the one, right? You just never know who it could be. Tonight's review of these events is a comedy act. So everything that I'm saying is just a joke because everything that I'm talking about is a joke. So don't take me seriously because what I'm talking about isn't something you should take seriously. I don't take it seriously. I treat it like a joke because it's a comedy act. See how that works? All right. So I thought to myself, I wonder if we can find any videos of anyone being hit, ran over. And so I decided to go looking for content to see if I can find the truck actually hitting someone. Even if it's blurry, even if it's pixelated, I want to see someone get hit. And let me show you what I was able to find. I found some videos that show a truck driving by fast and people getting out of the way, but didn't find anyone being hit. So let me show you. I got a few different videos. Okay, did anyone see a truck hit anyone? Video emerges from deadly truck attack. Guys, where's the truck attack? One more time. I think I missed it. Maybe I blinked and I missed it. That didn't show anybody getting attacked. So, first video that we watched there, we see people running. Some people, a lot of people didn't even run, they just stayed still. But that doesn't show anyone getting hit by a truck. Let's go to the next piece of evidence. Blurry spot on the ground. I don't see anyone being hit by a truck here yet. That's just a blurry spot. We didn't see anyone get hit. Don't jump to conclusions and say the blurry spot is a dead person and that means they had to have got hit. I want to see video of somebody get hit. At least one. If you're going to tell me 15 are dead because of a truck running people over, I got to see some of this footage. Where's it at? Blurry thing. Okay, so in that video, we didn't see anyone get hit. Let's see if there's a different video. If we can find anyone actually being hit. Oh yeah, people in the chat. I know a person who was there. Everyone's dead. You're not convincing anyone. Just stop it. I'll find you and I'll boot you. There's always somebody who wants to push that narrative.
Dear Dr. K, I used to think I was never meant to be beautiful.
Stepping out.
We are now taking a live look at Bourbon Street in New Orleans, where a man from Houston intentionally plowed a pickup truck into a crowd just hours into the new year. Investigators are calling the incident an act of terror. And officials say...
Okay, here's a different shot.
New video shows the speed of the pickup truck that plowed into people, killing at least 15 and injuring many more.
Okay. Nobody got hit, though. I've seen other shots of this, and everyone jumps out of the way. It doesn't actually hit anyone.
Killing at least 15 and injuring many more.
So this is a little bit deceptive what they're doing here, because I've seen the rest of this video. And I'll show it to you. They freeze frame it. All these people jump out of the way. In fact, let me get rid of this one. Since they're being deceptive and freeze framing it, I'll try and find their other video that shows the rest of it. All right.
This was an act of terrorism. It was premeditated.
Nobody got hit right there. One more time.
This was an act of terrorism. It was premeditated.
Okay, so everybody's already out of the way except for this one girl.
Meditated.
Whoop, but then she gets out of the way. So nobody hit right there. Right? Just saying, you guys, I ain't seen anyone get hit yet. I'm not saying it's for sure fake. I'm not saying it's for sure real. I'm just saying I ain't seen nobody get hit yet. So that might, lend me to make a decision on whether it is real or not, based on whether I can find any evidence of anyone actually being hit.
Evil act.
Okay, it looks like people jumped out of the way of that one.
And an evil act.
I don't know about the authenticity of this video. I'm not quite sure about what they just tried to show me there. Because they cut it off just as it looked like this blurry girl was about to get hit. They just cut it off. See? All right. So I haven't went scouring the internet, looking for the footage of people actually being hit. But all I'm saying is I ain't seen anybody get hit. The New Orleans attacker Shamsuddin Jabbar drove a pickup truck into a crowd of New Year's revelers early on the morning of January 1st, 2025, killing at least 14. Now it's said to be 15, injuring dozens. Simone Bettina says, Jake, this news is somewhat crazy. On 12/20, an Islamic guy ran into a crowd with a car at German Christmas market in Germany. 11 dead, 60 injured. Yeah, this is a reoccurring theme that they do once or twice every year. And so I actually had a video removed by YouTube many years ago covering a car attack and showing evidence that that it wasn't real. And so I've been down this road before, so if you Charlottesville, that's the one it was. So I covered the Charlottesville car attack, and I want to say it was in 2017, and I broke down how the evidence just wasn't adding up, and then YouTube pulled down that video. So that one's over on my bitch Oot channel. Anyway, so yeah, this is a operation that they like to rerun once or twice a year. So thank you, Simone Bettina. And yeah, they will run this operation in other countries as well, not just the United States. What they want to do is put you through more of a strict process of whether you can get a license and drive a vehicle. Like, oh, you have to do a psychological checkup in order to get a license to drive a vehicle to make sure that you're sane enough, that you're not going to go crazy and be radicalized by ISIS and use your car for terrorist acts, right? Imagine a mandatory visit to a government doctor's office where they do a psychological analysis and they get to decide whether you get to drive or not based on the answers to questions, Just saying, those days are coming. Might not happen tomorrow or the next, but all they got to do is have people mow over people on TV with cars. All they have to do is fake mow over people with fake cars. You know what I mean? And they could probably convince people that it would be a good idea They could convince the sheeple it would be an excellent idea to get a psychological evaluation before you're allowed to have a vehicle. Then, of course, they can be like, oh, we don't like the answers to the questions that we asked you. So, yeah, you can't drive. You might use it as a weapon. So you're not allowed. You don't get a driver's license. You might be one of those radicalized guys. I swear I'm not a radicalized guy. I'm a radical guy, but I'm not radicalized. I'm just a regular radical dude, bro. I think that's why you're getting confused. All right, listen. I haven't been radicalized. I'm just super duper radical, and you're just confused. Okay? There you go. Right, let's get back to the motive. You guys, his terror attack plan and the motive has been revealed. They got to the bottom of this really quick.
We do not assess at this point that anyone else involved in this attack is involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar.
So it's just this guy, nobody else. And just so happens he posted on Facebook, government-run website, professing his support for the Islamic State and his motive. Isn't that convenient how you get the manifesto? You get the Facebook confession. Isn't that awesome? Good thing he did that.
In the first video, Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers.
Look, you guys, we have someone here telling us that there was blood everywhere, you dumbass. I noticed there's been a few of these in chat already. They like always want to make it out like no, you dumbass. This was the one. Can't believe you would say that. It's always a few of them. Yeah. Hey, if you don't like what I'm saying, bro, just get lost. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't care what I think. So let me go ahead and help and send you on your way. All right.
Believers, end quote. Additionally, he stated he had joined ISIS before this summer. He also provided a will and testament.
A lot of questions we're still asking ourselves. We know that he specifically picked out Bourbon Street. Not quite sure why. I mean, I think one can assume that it was lots of people, New Year's Eve, target for an attack. What I can tell you right now is that he was 100% inspired by ISIS.
100%, you guys.
What I can tell you right now is that he was 100% inspired by ISIS.
He wasn't 94% inspired by ISIS and then like 6% inspired by Taliban. No, it's all 100% ISIS. There was blood everywhere, you dumbass. Okay. Because he was inspired by ISIS. Yes, Jammy, get any brown guy terrorist organization. When you really look into it, it always ties back to the U.S. military / U.S. government. They have to have a brown guy terrorist organization, or a few in this case, to keep us sheeple. And I'm not calling myself a sheep or you a sheep, but keep the sheeple, I should say. Keep them convinced that there are these bad guys out there who do these bad things. It's like the problem solution deal. They come in with this problem. There's crazy brown guys who want to kill you. Hey, you know what would be a good solution? Let's make it more strict for you to do anything so that brown guys don't kill you. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Because there's all these like crazy radicalized brown guys out there, and they could kill you at any time. So if you let us, the American government, clamp down on all of your supposed rights and remove those, we can keep you extra safe. All right. What do you guys think? Am Original says, trust me, bro, I heard the screams from Georgia. Well, dude, you can't lie about something like that. So I think I have to trust you. A truthaholic, no blood on the truck, that's one thing. I just want to see the truck actually hit someone. Even if it's a blurry, pixelated. I just want to see somebody get ran over. I do. I have that want. Before I believe it's real, I just have the desire to see the footage of at least someone getting ran over. 15 is kind of a big number, you know? Okay, and then next we're going to get to the Cybertruck in Las Vegas. One of those ugly ass Cybertrucks, the Tesla metal box Cybertrucks that you've seen. I'm sure we've all seen them. We all think they're ugly. If you don't think they're ugly, then you're stupid. So one of those Cybertrucks blew up outside of Trump's hotel in Las Vegas. It didn't kill anyone except the guy inside. But now I'm hearing reports that he killed himself before the truck blew up. Anyway, so they're saying that furthermore, the FBI highlighted that they believe there is no connection between the attack in New Orleans and the Cybertruck blast in Las Vegas. I say differently, because the Cybertruck attack, as I'm going to show you, also features a guy who was former military. In fact, both these guys tie back to the same army base. Imagine that. You have a Cybertruck attack and a New Orleans truck attack within a day of each other. Both guys tie back to the U.S. Army. Same base. Yeah. I say that's a connection. Personally, I consider that a connection, even though the mainstream media is saying there is no connection. I think they're connected. I think they are both events orchestrated by the government and, dare I say, staged by the government. I mean, what are the chances? You got two stories, tippity top of the headlines on every major news network, both involving a truck attack of some kind. And then this other one that we're going to get to, a Tesla outside of Trump's hotel. And Trump and Elon have become buddy-buddy lately. So is this some sort of like symbolism that there's going to be a blow up between Trump and Elon? I've heard that there might be trouble in paradise between Trump and Elon. So perhaps we're getting the signal with this Tesla blowing up outside the Trump hotel that Elon and Trump are about to have a blow up. I don't know. Just guessing. I could be wrong.
As you know, there's also an FBI investigation in Las Vegas. We are following up on all potential leads and not ruling everything out. However, at this point, there is no definitive link between the attack here in New Orleans and the one in Las Vegas.
Except that they're both tied back to the U.S. Army and the same base in Fort Bragg. And they both used a truck from this rented from the same app. Oh, we're going to get into that next. All right. Faceman says could be aliens.
I've been trying to tell you for years now. They're fixing to get ready for the alien invasion. It is the final piece to their puzzle. And they know that the flat earthers are not going to believe in an alien invasion. So that's why they're trying to throw the flat earth under the bus so that they can usher in their alien invasion. And they're going to trick everyone when they have the biggest Chinese drones that you ever saw hovering over Manhattan. You're going to be expecting little green men. What you're going to get, Chinese nano drones that look like smart dust. People wonder what this fog has been, this mysterious fog. Swarms of Chinese nano drones. I've been saying it for years. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm out.
All right. So now you guys know the motive behind Shahid Shabir's car or truck attack. I almost forgot what it was. It's so ridiculous. I almost stopped caring and forgot what I was talking about. Good times.
As you all know, there was a recent little explosion outside of my wonderful hotel. Some call it the greatest hotel in the history of Las Vegas. And as you know, I am your favorite president and mine of the greatest country in the history of the world. Now, I want you to know I'm safe. There's not a scratch on me. They got to wake up pretty early in the morning if they're going to get one over on yours truly. Now, the guy who tried to blow up my wonderful hotel, yeah, it didn't end so well for him. And I just want to send a message to anyone out there who thinks you're going to take a shot at me. We're on to you. America loves me. You can't get rid of me. All right? If you try and shoot me, I'm like Neo in the Matrix, all right? I can dodge bullets, all right? So don't you dare take a shot at me. Don't you dare try and blow up one of my beautiful, gorgeous hotels, or else it's going to end badly for you.
There you go. There's Trump warning people not to come after him. All right. So now let's move on to the Cybertruck attack. Now that we got the New Orleans truck attack out of the way. So within 24 hours, there was another truck attack. And right at the tippity top of the news, you got two truck attack stories that they want to say are unrelated. Pfft, okay. Unrelated my ass. All right. Let me pull up the Cybertruck video. 1 second.
The major news conference out of New Orleans, the latest updates coming. Fox Station. Let's bring that in Las Vegas. We are getting some breaking news regarding that. Let's bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox. What we are learning is the person who authorities believe died in the explosion of a Tesla Cybertruck packed with fireworks and mortars and camp fuel canisters outside President-elect Donald Trump's Las Vegas hotel was an active duty U.S. Army soldier. 3 U.S. officials are telling the Associated Press today. 2 law enforcement officials identified the
He was an active U.S. Army soldier. You guys, if the U.S. military can't keep their soldiers from being radicalized, I think it's a problem with the U.S. military, right? I mean, come on, even if you think of it from a sheeple point of view. Hey, U.S. military, both these guys link back to you? Maybe it's the U.S. military that's the problem. Now, see, I'm not a sheeple, so I already know this is basically them admitting this is an inside job. Yeah, a military guy who's actively with the military, you know, the government. He blew himself up outside of the Trump hotel. Just so happens to kind of coincide with Shahid Jabid Jabbar driving over 15 people because he's also former military, was radicalized by ISIS. Yeah, just happens to happen right in the exact same time frame as this. Both stories now being headline news, not only across the nation, but even across the world.
Man inside the futuristic looking pickup truck as Matthew Livsberger. The law enforcement official spoke to the AP. 3 U.S. officials said Livsberger was an active duty Army member who spent time at the base formerly known as Fort Bragg, a massive Army base in North Carolina that is home to Army Special Forces Command. The officials also spoke on this in length as well. The truck explosion came hours after a driver, a 42-year-old Shamsed Din Babar Jabbar, rammed a truck into a crowd in New Orleans.
Wait, say that name one more time.
Well, the truck explosion came hours after a driver, a 42-year-old Shamsed Din Babar Jabbar, rammed
Bar. Okay.
A truck into a crowd in New Orleans, famed French Quarter, early on New Year's Day, killing at least 15 people before being shot to death by police.
Okay, we heard about that earlier.
That crash was being investigated as a terrorist attack, and police believe the driver was not acting alone. Jabbar, a U.S. Army veteran, also spent time at Fort Bragg, but one official said so far there is no overlap in their assignments there. So again, we are bringing this to you.
So they both tie back to Fort Bragg, but there's no overlap there. Oh, okay. So I guess it's just a crazy coinkydink.
You really updating you as we get it here on Live Now from Fox. Again, we'll be continuing to look for more updates, not only.
All right. Wow, 2 truck attacks. I guess we should make renting trucks illegal so that we don't have to worry about this problem anymore. I think that would probably be the best solution. No more renting trucks anymore. I should do it. So here's a video that kind of ties both of them together.
This morning, investigators say a man with ties to Colorado Springs was behind the wheel when that Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Matthew Livelsberger was killed in that blast. 7 other people were hurt. Overnight, federal investigators were searching a home in the Springs.
Matthew Livelsberger. Livelsberger? You ever notice these names sometimes just sound phony? Sound made up. Livelsberger.
tied to the suspect.
We are also learning about connections between Livelsberger and the man accused of driving down Bourbon Street in New Orleans, purposely hitting people and firing shots into the crowd. Both men were Army veterans, and sources tell Denver 7 investigates that both men served at the same military base at some point.
This morning, we have team coverage starting with Natalie Chuck in Colorado Springs. And Natalie, both men also rented trucks from the attacks from the service called Turo.
They both rented from the same service. Now, I had never heard of this Turo service that they rented from, but apparently it's like Airbnb, but for cars and trucks. So it's like people can rent their vehicle out to somebody. So instead of like renting an Airbnb from a stranger, you rent a stranger's car, I guess is the concept. And both guys rented vehicles from this same company and both committed these attacks within like a day of each other. And they both tie back to the same Army base. But they want us to believe it's unrelated. It's just a coincidence. I don't know. A little too much in common. All right, guys. So we still got some more stuff to go over. Shady Davy D says likes up, best channel on YouTube. Yeah, how about we go ahead and see how many likes we can get here. Let me see how many I have at the moment. 274 likes and 640 watching. Guys, get me to 400 thumbs up right now. If there's over 600 watching and I only got 270 whatever thumbs up, that's too low. Get me to 400 thumbs up and then we'll continue. So I'm going to hold the stream hostage for a minute while you hit the thumbs up. Hey, you sitting there scratching your taint. Hook a brother up with a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm and shit. It makes YouTube like shadow ban me less, kinda, I think. So do it. Smash that thumbs up. I want to see 400 thumbs up. And then we're going to continue. But if you don't get me to 400 thumbs up, then I'm going to shut this shit down and we're all going to go to bed and your weekend's over. So, what do you think? Thumbs up? And we continue? Party time? Excellent. I say so. I think that's the better option. I'm not ready to shut it down. I'm not ready to go to sleep. I'm not ready for party time to be over. We're at 345 on my end. Come on, guys. 400 thumbs up. I know it can be done. If you've got a second account, switch over to your second account and hit the thumbs up with that one. If you've got like 10 sock accounts, smack me 10 thumbs up with your sock accounts. If you're one of those haters who's here hate watching me, bro, just give me a thumbs up. You can still hate watch me, but give me a thumbs up. Yes, the mainstream media trolls people and they gaslight the like less than 1% of us who know what's going on, because they know that the like 99.9% of everybody like who's watching is a total buffoon sheep who's going to buy anything that they sell. Simone wants the Moon Rover song. All right. Let me see what how many thumbs up. We are up to 384. You guys want me to sing the Moon Rover song? Get me to 400 thumbs up. We're almost there. In fact, since we're so close to 400 thumbs up, I'm going to start singing the Moon Rover song. And then by the time I finish, we better be at 400 thumbs up. Okay? Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. land on the moon, we land on the moon. Hey, take the rover, we go to the moon. Then you know that we come back soon. We rove to the left, we rove to the right. In beach, you know that we rove all night. We land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. Said take the rover, we go to the moon. We take the rover, we come back soon. We go up top, we go down low. In beach, you don't know which way we rove. We land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We take the rover, we rove to the east. Take the rover, we rove to the west. Take the rover, we rove to the south. And then we rove right up beside your mouth. We land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. We land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. Say rove, rove, rove. Everybody say rove, 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 rove. Come on, y'all, rove, rove, rove. Everybody say row, 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 rover, row, 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 row. Woo! All right, there you go. Just for you guys, the Land on the Moon song. All right, how many thumbs up we got to? We made it. We got to over 400 thumbs up. Sweet. You guys are a good crowd tonight. And with that, we're going to go ahead and continue.
That's right. Good morning, Nicole and Anusha. Right now, we are coming off of a pretty uneventful evening here at what is believed to be the apartment complex belonging to that driver of the Cybertruck that exploded in Las Vegas. But now we are seeing some activity. We were all just asked to leave the area and move down the hill a couple of blocks. You can see law enforcement behind me actively blocking off Autumn Knoll Drive right behind us. A couple of blocks up and to the left is where that complex is that they are looking at. Originally, law enforcement just had a single set of units blocked off, but now, as you can see, it is that whole entire neighborhood. People are beginning to wake up as the sun starts to come up, people walking their dogs, and this is what they are waking up to on the second day of 2025. I want to give you a look at the footage from around 9 o'clock last night when law enforcement started creating a perimeter right here. The apartment in question, sources confirmed they believe belongs to that man, that driver of the Cybertruck, and that is what investigators are honing in on here. We do not know or believe right now that investigators have actively gone in and searched that unit yet, but they have been monitoring this area all night long. We know that local and federal law enforcement agencies have boots on the ground here. A Colorado Springs police officer was just speaking with us earlier, originally saying we're going to have to leave the area at 7 o'clock. But as you can see, they had us do that a bit early. We also know that FBI and ATF agents were seen here last night from the address here in Colorado Springs to the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas can be seen on your screen. That's more than 800 miles. It's about a 12-hour drive. I did speak with a neighbor here who says,
so dude drove 12 hours to go blow himself up in the parking lot and not take anyone out. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, it seems like kind of a weird plan that's not even that evil, where all you do is take yourself out and you don't even like damage the property or anything. Like, he didn't take anyone else out. He didn't hurt the hotel. So basically we got rid of a psycho army guy. I don't see the problem. Just kidding. The whole story is just whack. Like, okay, this guy wants to drive 12 hours to blow himself up in the parking lot, but not take anyone else out with him. Kind of weird.
She never noticed a Cybertruck in the area. She says it's something that typically would stick out. And again, like you mentioned earlier, those trucks, both this truck, this Cybertruck, and the truck involved in the New Orleans attack are believed to have been rented from an app called Turo that is used to rent out personal cars. Turo issuing a statement last night saying nothing was flagged on either of the suspects' accounts when they rented these cars that would cause them to question any sort of security threat. But of course, we are hoping to learn more about all of that today.
So now they can get to work on creating legislation, or in the future, let's say, get to work on creating legislation, laws to require you, if you're going to rent a car, that you have like a psychological evaluation, or that you go through a government background check. You submit to a government background check, and then they can say this guy could be a threat to commit a terrorist act because he talks about how the government lies on his YouTube channel. So therefore, no, he's not allowed to rent a car. See? So I just created a scenario in my head where I'm not going to be able to rent a car because the government could claim that I could be a terroristic threat because of these things I talk about on my channel, right? So if I'm being watched, and if you do a background check on me and it comes up, oh yeah, this guy is a possible domestic terrorist, so he's not allowed to rent a car, not allowed to do X, Y, Z, what have you. See, so they could eventually have laws to where if they view you as a potential threat, they can restrict you from traveling or doing whatever because you might potentially be a terrorist threat. See? See how that works? Now, by the time they get all that in place, I'm thinking it'll just probably be a better idea that I just go ahead and die and leave this realm. But eventually, all that shit that I just said will be in place. And it's going to suck. But I won't be here. Once it starts to suck, I'm totally leaving. I'm out of here. It's already kind of starting to suck. But once it sucks some more, and it starts to suck really bad, I'm totally out of here. You guys are on your own.
Are expecting an update from law enforcement at some point today.
Welcome, everyone, to the Hurting Humanity channel.
No, I don't want to hear from this. I only wanted to hear that first part. All right. So, got 2 truck attacks, both of them tippity top of the news. Both the suspects dead. So, we can't hear anything more come out of their face. And they both tie back to the U.S. military and the same military base. But they want you to believe that their actions aren't connected at all. I say they are connected. They're part of the script that had them do something similar, and they both tie back to the government. So to me, that's a connection. I'm going to say it is connected because of that. Scotty says, wait a minute, max range on a Tesla truck's 320 miles. Well, he probably had to stop and recharge it, of course, right? The fact that it's a Tesla Cybertruck is hilarious because those are like such ugly trucks, and like there's already people complaining that they suck. And then you have Trump and Elon becoming best buds just before the election happens, and then just after, like Trump and Elon are seen like hanging out with each other, chumming it up. They're best buddies now. And then you have a Tesla vehicle that blows up supposedly out in front of Trump's hotel. So like I pointed out earlier, this might be the signal that there's going to be a blow up between Trump and Elon. You could see Trump and Elon turn on each other and have some sort of a blow up, if you will. I don't know. That's just me guessing. Scotty says, Happy New Year, mate, and all your subscribers as well. Enjoy 2025. Let's see what BS they throw at us this year. Peace, and look after Jake and your subs. Thank you, Adrian Preston. I appreciate that. It's been a decent 2025 so far. The weather's been fairly mild here in California, and haven't had any of the killer fog come in and give me a chemical burn. So it's been going decent so far. Can't complain too much. I wasn't blown up by a radical Islamic former military guy. So far, so good. I didn't get ran over by a radicalized Islamic military guy or blown up by one. So that's good, because you never know, that can happen these days. So you never know when or where the Reaper's coming for you. All right. IA says both attackers crossed state lines, ensuring the feds would be in charge of the investigation. Also, U.S. openly trains ISIS and Al-Qaeda in the Northeast. Yeah, I went over that at the towards the beginning of the stream, that if you do your own research and you really dive down the ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the brown guy terrorist rabbit hole, you find out that they all tie back to the U.S. government. That brown guy terrorist organizations are a product of the U.S. government, because they want to convince you that there's a such thing as scary brown guys who want to kill you. There's a whole group of them. They're scary. They hate you. They want to kill all of you. They used to like show a bunch of stupid propaganda of like these beheadings and stuff. Remember when they used to do like death to America? We are the terrorist group you should be afraid of, and this will happen to you. We will cut your head off. And then they show a guy like go, I wish that I would have never tried to go against these guys, and now I'm going to pay the ultimate price. I'm about to get my head cut off. Bye. And they would have a soldier like basically give a speech just before supposedly getting beheaded. They used to show that stuff on the news. Then they would stop the camera just before the guy gets beheaded, leaving you to believe that he got beheaded. They used to show that. Does anyone remember the old beheading ISIS clips, Al-Qaeda clips? They were hilarious. Not real looking at all. They stopped doing them because so many people were figuring out that it was bullshit. So the fact that they used to behead people, and they used to say stuff like, oh, you Americans will be sorry, death to America, la, 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 la. We're going to behead this guy here. They stopped doing that. Why? You're telling me those brown scary guys decided that was unethical? Why did they stop doing that? It makes more sense when you look at it from the other way. Like, oh, the American government who was staging the beheadings decided that it looked too stupid and that it wasn't working. So they stopped doing it. Oh, well, that actually makes tons of sense, as opposed to the radical brown bad guys just stop beheading people and showing us. Seems to me they would have ramped that up, right? So funny. When you really look at the shit they showed us in the past, if you have a good memory. Hey, they were cutting our heads off, remember? How come they don't cut our heads off anymore? Look over here. There's a truck that blew up. Yeah, but how come they don't cut our heads off anymore? Oh, look, another truck. Shut up. There's a truck that ran some people over. Don't ask questions about why they don't cut people's heads off no more. Yeah, for those of you who have a foggy memory, go back and find those terrorist beheading videos. The ones that have the soldiers giving a testimony before their head would supposedly get chopped off were the funniest and the worst. Here's the thing. I never saw any giant drones. And so I didn't have any personal experience seeing like a drone that's bigger than usual. And they could always just say that, like, oh, yeah, some companies have these big drones that they use for delivering stuff. And so I guess the story just turned out that the drones were just commercial and private drones. I think that was the official turnout. But then it's like they just swept the drone thing under the rug. And we actually talked about that. If you guys can remember, what was it, 3 weeks ago or so, I did a stream about the drones when it was the top story. And some of us here in the chat said maybe it might be a nothing burger. And in a few weeks, we might be talking about something completely else, and the drones might be completely forgotten about. So some of us brought up that the drones might have been a total nothing burger. And so far, that's exactly what it looks like. Nothing became of the drones. It was a big, gigantic deal. We don't know who or where these drones are coming from. And then I think they came out and did a report that said that it was private drones and public drones. And there's nothing nefarious about it. And then they just swept it under the rug. Off to the next thing. And that was his point. Yeah, see, they do that with certain stories. They'll pump a story for 4 or 5 days like it's the biggest deal. And then they'll just move on to the next thing and just sweep that other story right under the rug and never really mention it again. Emily says trolls are after Ralphie now. Oh my God. Yeah, I have some haters who like are the worst human beings alive. And they know that if like they go after my dog, they might be able to get a rise out of me or trigger me. So yeah, if you see anyone like just being an absolute terrible piece of shit human and they're for sure going after me, go ahead and just time them out for the rest of the stream. I haven't seen any of what they said, so I'm sure whatever they said was probably shitty, but I haven't seen it. Nate Richards says, I've seen the big drones, took videos on my channel. They were here last night in massive orbs, plus last night over my house. Well, you're getting all the drone orb love, aren't you? I don't get any of it. I go outside and I don't really see anything. I just see a couple boring airplanes, some chemtrails. Now, I have seen some little shiny, tiny orbs flying around, but it's been years since I've seen them. So I remember seeing orbs back in like, I don't know, 2015, 16, 17 range. I would every once in a while see like little shiny things that like were flying different than a plane. But then it was like, as I would look at them, be like, what the fuck are those orbs? It's almost like they would disappear, almost like they knew I was looking at them or something. It was weird. But then it's like I stopped seeing them, and now I haven't seen them in a long time. So I have seen these, what I thought were orbs or something that wasn't just a regular plane, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Nothing lately. Nothing out of the ordinary lately. And then the fog thing, I just started looking into that tonight. And again, that's another thing that like I haven't experienced it here. You know, here in California where I live, sometimes it's foggy in the morning, but I've never went outside and thought, oh my God, it smells like chemicals and it's burning me. So I've never had a chemical burning fog, you know, leave me with burns or a rash or, you know, coughing and hacking or whatever. But that, I guess it is a possibility that maybe they are doing that in other places. So I'll have to look more into it. In fact, I could pull up some stories right now and we could go into that, because I already talked about the 2 truck attacks. I pretty much said what I wanted to say. So we could dive into the fog here, the mysterious herpes frog. I said herpes frog. You get herpes from frogs. Gay frogs. They're turning the frogs gay. Not only that, frogs are giving people herpes. If you kiss a frog, you won't get warts, but you will get herpes. I know this from personal experience. They turned the damn frogs gay. One of them damn gay frogs jumped up and gave me a kiss. I didn't want him to. I never want a gay frog to give me a kiss. He caught me by surprise. Jumped up out of a little creek. Kissed me when I wasn't paying attention. Gave me a little herpes on my lip. So watch out, America. Gay frogs are a serious deal. I've been warning you for a long, long time. Goddamn frickin' deep state with their damn herpy frogs. There you go. That's what you get for me saying herpy frog. All right. What do I want to call it? Mysterious fog? Is that how I want to look it up? Mysterious fog. All right. So I just typed it into the search bar and I'm seeing what looks like some sort of conspiracy type video from a channel that I've never heard of, but we'll just give this a shot. Mystery fog is making us sick. Alien UFO drones, plasmoids, creepy TikToks, and spooky videos. That's the one we're watching for sure.
We'll again be closely monitoring dense fog that will impact plans this evening. Already, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for Charlotte and Lee counties. It officially goes into effect at 7 o'clock, but we are already, especially in the western half of these counties, starting to see those visibilities deteriorate. So dense fog advisories in effect through about 10 a.m.
Delays and cancellations continue across the country this morning amid the busy holiday travel crunch. You're looking live at LAX this morning, which is being impacted not only by the fog that still seems to be fairly dense at this hour, but also delays in other parts of the country caused by severe weather. Thousands of flights have been delayed in the past 3 days. At LAX, flight delays have jumped this morning from 60 to 126. We have 2 more cancellations to report, raising the total to 8 canceled flights.
For the past several days, a dense, mysterious fog has descended upon countless regions around the globe. From the bustling streets of New York City to the quiet countryside of rural England, this phenomenon has left people questioning everything they knew about the weather.
Really? I mean, can't you chalk it up to sometimes it gets foggy? Because here in California, sometimes it gets foggy. So can they just show us a picture of when it gets foggy sometimes and then drum up a bunch of conspiratard videos about how it's a chemical fog that's making people sick? I don't know. I don't know if I want to jump on board with anything that sounds like it's some conspiratard theory made up by some like a government controlled ops conspiracy channel.
But this isn't just any fog. It's something far more sinister. Reports are flooding in from social media.
There is, without a doubt, something going on across the country. This is being reported in multiple towns, multiple cities, multiple states, coast to coast, even in the UK.
TikTok, YouTube, and X are abuzz with videos of this unusual mist. Residents describe an unsettling chemical odor lingering in the air, paired with strange glittering particles that seem almost alive. People are falling ill, complaining of nausea, dizziness, muscle aches, and even rashes after coming into direct contact with the fog.
Well, I would need to see proof of that. And I haven't heard of anybody I know showing me any fog rash or that they were stricken ill right after coming into contact with this fog. And what's this whole like alive particle thing that he said?
Odor lingering in the air, paired with strange glittering particles that's
lingering odor in the air paired with strange glittering particles.
Settling chemical odor lingering in the air, paired with strange glittering particles that seem almost alive.
That seem almost alive. No, I haven't seen any glittering particles that seemed almost alive. Have you guys seen glittering particles that seemed almost alive? I don't know. I just personally haven't came into contact with anything like this, so I have to doubt whether it exists in the first place.
People are falling ill, complaining of nausea, dizziness, muscle aches, and even rashes after coming into direct contact with the fog. The question is, what's causing this? Scientists are baffled. Weather experts say this isn't your typical atmospheric fog. Speculations range from environmental pollutants to something more deliberate, geoengineering experiments gone wrong, or even chemical dispersion. But here's where it gets even stranger. Sightings of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, have surged in the weeks leading up to the fog's arrival.
Ooh, now UFOs are getting involved, so now it's extra creepy. IA says, sounds like China smog being dismissed. Like China smog being dismissed. I'm not sure what you mean. If you can post like a more of an explanation, I'll go ahead and pull that up and read it. But I don't know exactly what you mean. The UFOs are dropping insect fogger spray on us. Yeah, chemtrails come from UFOs now. So it's not the government spraying you, it's aliens.
In just the past week, there have been 4 catastrophic plane crashes attributed to low visibility caused by the fog. Travel has ground to a halt in many areas, and airports are scrambling to adapt. In one chilling report, a passenger described looking out of their window to see nothing but an endless, suffocating white void. Whispers of government involvement are spreading like wildfire. Could this be a cover-up? Is the fog hiding something in the skies above? Something they don't want us to see? Others point to chemtrails, a long-debated theory that claims governments disperse chemicals into the air for nefarious purposes. And here's another twist. Some people claim that the recent drone invasions, widely reported across several countries, have been seen spraying something into the air. Could these drones be connected to the fog and the illnesses? The timing is uncanny.
Look at him spraying. Look at that. Look at that. He is spraying the sky again. Bro, this is fucking crazy, man. Look at this guy. They're spraying the skies.
Anyone else noticed since this fog arrived on Christmas Day, you got a sore throat, you started to feel lethargic, you lost your appetite, you felt fluey, you couldn't do anything, didn't have any energy, sweats, couldn't sleep. There's nothing natural about it for me, people. They're doing this on purpose. Whatever's in that fog is making us sick. And I know it's hard for people to get their heads around that they'd actually do it to us. But again, go and research the Georgia Guidestones. Go and research what they want for humanity. Keep us in balance with nature at 500 million. So they've got a big task on their hands if they want this done by 2030. So think about it. Changes in the weather, things they're sticking in us, things they're putting in the food. And I'm past caring what the Karens think. The amount of people in the comment section who say, oh, it's just winter, it's always like that, we always have fog. So this is far from natural. This isn't water. This isn't normal fog.
This is purely hypothetical. This is purely theoretical. This is purely a hippopotamus, okay? Hear me out. Y'all know about the drones in the sky. Have y'all noticed more fog advisories in your area? I have. I've seen a shit ton of fog advisories all across the country, okay? I think the drones and the fog, they're connected. How the fuck could these two things be connected? Well, it's called smart dust, and it was developed by DARPA in the mid-1990s. Smart dust is a system of tiny wireless sensors that can pick up vibrations, light, temperature, all kinds of shit, right? And this smart dust can be introduced anywhere. It can be introduced to a human body. It can be introduced to an atmosphere. These sensors even have communication capabilities, so they can report back to whatever the hell they're reporting to begin with.
Well, you know, yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards this one being a little too much fear-mongery. It's like, okay, well, if you're going to fear-monger me that much, we might as well just go ahead and say you can put the smart dust in anything. The smart dust is in your water. The smart dust is in your food. It's in your air. It's everywhere. It's already inside you. You're full of smart dust. Ooh, boogity, boogity, right? That's the end of there. Now I don't have to worry about it, right? That's what I don't like about these type of videos. Like, this fog, it's smart dust. And oh my God, you should be really worried about it. It's like, yeah, well, so why don't they put that like in all the different types of food and in the water supply? Oh, they do. Okay, so it's in all of us and we're just screwed and we're all full of smart dust. Yep. Well, then who cares then? That's just the way it is. No way to avoid it. No way to avoid the smart dust, apparently. So why be scared of it? Doggy Style says, where's Q and Fee? Well, he's in Amsterdam and they're 9 hours ahead. So a lot of times when I stream in the late afternoon or at night, he's in bed. So when I stream earlier in the day, then there's a better chance that he shows up. Yeah, these are videos that I call it like conspiratainment. It's like fear-mongering videos. It's like people who think they're awake watch these, and then they go and spout that crap to their friends, you know. There's this clickbait garbage, exactly. There's no evidence backing up anything that they're saying. You know, like the one video of the like chemtrail being made at night. That's just a plane spraying a chemtrail at night. You can't prove that it's like this new fog smart dust that's making people sick. So if they talk about this new fog smart dust and it's making people sick, and then show a video of a regular plane spraying, well, that's a little bit deceptive in my opinion. Yeah, it's clickbait garbage in a way. We'll give it another few minutes. We'll let this girl finish.
Sometimes there are even little mini computers floating in the sky or in a body or wherever they want to put this smart dust. Now, DARPA claims that smart dust is only used for research, and of course, everything there is top secret, so we'll never actually know what they're using smart dust for. Now, how are the drones connected? Well, this smart dust needs a battery to keep it going. And the smart dust has to be dispersed somehow. If you were going to create a force field of sensors to pick up all these readings, wouldn't you want it in real time? Why would you want how hot it is somewhere or what the vibrations were somewhere 20 hours later? No, you want it in real time, right? And what if the smart dust fucks up? What if it needs to be recalibrated or adjusted? It'd be perfect if there was a drone right above it. What is going on?
Well, that girl's got it all figured out, you guys. Smart dust is everywhere. And but I'll bet you that she probably has this routine where she keeps the smart dust out of her body. I'll bet you if we were to ask that girl, like, hey, how do you keep the smart dust from getting all up inside you? She'd probably be like, I use turmeric and cilantro, and I chelate the smart dust out of my system because I'm so smart. And I mean, how's it going to attach itself inside my body if I disrupt its frequency with frequency disrupting turmeric? Okay. See, I would love to hear like that girl tell us how to rid ourselves of the smart dust, how to make the smart dust dumb and stop affecting us negatively. Gotta love these girls in their cars who make TikTok videos. They're the ones who are the most woke, or awake, I should say.
Right now. With this whole like fog stuff, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go search it. Just type in fog. You'll see. This is not natural. It looks like fog, but people have been putting up flashlights at night. Let me show you what it looks like.
What is this? I have never, ever seen this.
Yeah, but to be fair, like if like I have like a sunlight ray coming in my my vehicle, like if I'm sitting in my van and there's like a sunlight ray coming in, and then like I just like do this, it's just like infinite particles just keep coming out of my head. All I have to do is just go like this in front of like some sunlight, and I can just see particles just fucking going everywhere, just coming out of my head, right? And it won't stop. All I have to do is just do this, and I'll just see all these little fucking particles. Now, I could take a video of that somehow if I had, you know, the right camera set up, and I could get if I could just get the particles coming off my head and just not show you that they're coming off my head. I could be like, look at all this smart dust flying around, and I'm inside my vehicle. Where is it coming from? And really, it's just like little pieces of fucking skin and hair and whatever that like just come right off my head. And so if you think like outside, there's little particles and little pieces of whatnot everywhere. And then you get the light to shimmer off of it. And then they're like, oh, look, that's all smart dust. It never used to be there. See, so in a way, it's not very honest. No, I don't actually mean dandruff. I swear, if you try it, you'll the same thing will happen to you. The more hair you have, the more little pieces of stuff you'll see. Jake, please do more woke, pretty young girls trying to defend their wacky conspiracies. All right, let's listen to this girl, and maybe I can get the proper motivation to mock one of them again.
This is fog. It acts like fog. And there is a very weird smell.
There's a very distinct smell. Everyone's saying it smells like something's burning, like chemicals.
Chemicals. Well, different chemicals have different smells, sweetie. Some chemicals are odorless. So when you say like chemicals, which chemicals do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like chemicals. You know what bothers me most about the YouTubers is this whole fucking like point, the whole like point at stuff. Have you guys seen this? All right, here we go. Have you guys seen there's this new like mysterious fog, and like it's causing people to get sick, and like people who like are in the fog, they report that they like smell like a burning something, like chemicals. See, it never used to be this way, you guys. This is new. It just showed up this Christmas right here. Chemicals. Fucking TikTokers, dude. I hate TikTok truthers. Fucking hate them. Especially when they try and trickle their TikTok shit over here to YouTube. Like, keep your god-awful garbage over there on TikTok and don't bring it over here to YouTube, please. YouTube is slightly better than TikTok. Slightly. And I want to keep it that way. So all you TikTokers out there that fucking do this, have you guys seen this? What's going on right here? I'm going to totally expose this while I'm in my car pointing like this. This is the fog, you guys. It smells like chemicals.
This isn't fog. It acts like fog. And there is a very weird smell.
There's a very distinct smell. Everyone's saying it smells like something's burning, like chemicals. Having respiratory issues for being outside for 60 seconds. It's going on for days all across the world. In Georgia, in Canada, in Florida.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. So like, I was like standing outside and like, we were like waiting for an Uber to show up and he was like taking forever. And the whole time I was like, oh my God, it smells like burning something. It smells like chemicals or something. And then the Uber driver finally showed up and I was like, do you smell like burning something and chemicals? And he was like, yes, it's gross. I was wondering what that was. So even the Uber driver smelled it too. There you go. All right. And these are the girls who want to wake us up with their TikTok videos, right? Have you guys heard about this mysterious fog that's like chemicals, smelly and stuff? It's like a really big deal. That's why I made this video in my car, posted it on TikTok, you guys.
In London, throughout the UK, I'm going to show you somebody's filter that they have in their house. Mind you, they changed it a month ago. I've never seen anything like it.
In the actual fuck. Look at this filter, y'all. I've never pulled out a filter this dark in my life. This is not normal. It's black. Look at the new one.
You live in these areas.
Okay, so how do we know that that lady just never changed the air filter in like 5 years? And then she just pulled it out and then just said that. How do we know? So the evidence of killer black fog is one person's air filter. I don't know. I think I'm going to need a little more than just that one air filter shot.
Change your filters once a freaking week. This is some dark shit. Like the fact that this requires a gas mask for you to be safe. My heart goes out to all y'all. Like, be safe out there.
Okay. I wasn't gonna be safe until she told me to be safe. And now I think I'm gonna go ahead and take some of that girl's advice because she's so smart and she appears to know her shit very well. She's definitely done her research, obviously. So I think I'm gonna change my air filter every week, maybe twice a week. I'm gonna be safe, y'all.
Shit.
Damn it. I wanted to show her say that one more time. Get out of the way, commercial. There we go.
The fact that this requires a gas mask for you to be safe. My heart goes out to all y'all. Like, be safe out there.
So she's not wearing a gas mask, but she says it requires a gas mask in order to be safe.
Week. This is some dark shit. Like the fact that this requires a gas mask for you to be safe. My heart goes out to all y'all. Like, be safe out there.
All right. What do you guys think? I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm in love. Ooh, yeah. Nothing like a woke girl to get me all turned on. She wants to keep me safe from the smart dust, you guys. I think she's a keeper. All right, y'all. Like, be safe. Am Original says, I saw her. She's on Tinder. Who isn't on Tinder? Oh, yeah, me. I'm no longer on there. Oh, looks like I missed the super chat. My bad. Let me go back and snag it. OJ and Toothpaste says, the girls, the most annoying in the car, do fast food reviews. And this lady with the pink hair has to show her face for attention. So annoying. Yeah, TikTok is mostly all just cringe content. But whenever I see TikTok truthers, they just bother me. Like, stick to your TikTok cringe content. Don't try and do truth shit. I don't watch any TikTok content if I don't have to, but every once in a while here on YouTube, it still finds its way to me. See if I missed any other super chats. Looks like I'm caught up. All right.
Fucking conspiracy theorist, but I am. And so this falls in line. What the fuck is this shit?
I'm gonna turn my flashlight on.
What is this? This is not fog.
Oh my god.
The fog. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's trying to figure out where it's coming from, why, and what it might be doing to us. We all have our suspicions, but I just found this. MAGA Brittany had this to say. In regards to the fog, I found this document from the Air Force 2025 report that was published in 1999. The site has been removed from the internet, but I found it on the Wayback Machine.
Okay. Don't bring up the fittest flat earther because he's a fucking retard. And he's a shill. And his content is moronic. He says that Prince is Cat Williams. And he also says Prince is David Blaine. So Prince is Cat Williams and David Blaine, you guys. Which means Cat Williams is David Blaine. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the fittest flat earther. And his name keeps getting dropped, like, over here on my channel. Please don't bring him up.
It discusses tiny nanoparticles that can be delivered through fog, making them undetected. There are both defensive and offensive reasons why the military government would disperse fog on purpose. Now we just need to figure out why they're dispersing it now.
Let's talk about the fog conspiracy going around. I'm a meteorologist in Southwest Florida. There's fog behind me. Let's break down, what the internet is saying about that. People all over America are experiencing heavy fog. Okay, Everyone is wondering, what are the odds that this happens right when they don't want people looking up in the sky during the drones and orbs situation? And we have a list of places and videos to accompany that of places across the United States that have been seeing fog. They also listed the times of day that the fog has been reported: middle of the day, 12 noon, 3:30 in the afternoon. Fog can develop at any point during the day. Of course, most commonly it develops in the morning hours. However, again, it can develop at any time during the day. Now, maybe this is a coincidence that all this unusual fog is happening all over the country at the exact same time, that they don't want anyone looking up at the skies of the drones and orb situation taking once. My favorite part here: there are many logical atmospheric explanations for heavy fog. But is this all just too coincidental?
See, we don't really know where this footage is coming from. And so what I was saying is, like, if you have the light shining just right, you can get these shots, even if it's not foggy outside, where it'll look like there's all these particles floating around, even if it's not foggy. And so I'm skeptical when I see videos like this, and it's a bunch of TikTokers, pointing at the fucking screen above them. And then me personally, I haven't, seen any fog around here lately. And I live in a place where fog's not unnatural. Like here in California, sometimes in the morning it's foggy. And so I haven't really seen much fog this year. And damn sure don't remember any burning smell or chemical smell fog, or any fog that made me feel ill or dizzy. So just looking at these videos ain't quite doing it.
It's fucking cold, mate.
So I'm just going on my walk here, and I'm seeing these crystal pellets all over the place. And at first I thought it was ice. And I picked it up, and they're not heavy, they're very light. What is that? This is coming out of our sky. It just rained.
Okay, has anyone found a bunch of crystals like all over their whole town? Because, her showing a little piece of grass and picking up those few little pieces of crystal. Like, okay, keep going. Show me like you going 5 miles down the road in your car, and then you get out and there's crystals all over. Go across town and show me the crystals everywhere. And then maybe I'll be like, okay, that's fucking weird. Like the whole town has the little crystal things, like but if you're just going to show me one little piece of grass, I don't think I'm going to fucking jump on board the crystals falling out of the sky thing yet.
Rained. They are all over the place. It is on this block here. I'm walking just to see if it's in one area, but it's literally all over the place. Look. It's not ice. It's not melting. It's like plastic. It's not a rock. I've never seen a rock like this. And it's leaving these like shards of glass. You see that? All over my hand as I do this. Look. It's like breaking apart. What is going on?
Now see, that could make people become really sketched out and afraid if you watch that and there's some eerie music, it can start leading you to think all this stuff. And what they can do is they can get you to trip yourself out. They can get you to depress yourself, be scared of, any sort of foggy weather or any sort of rainy weather, snowy weather. Now they're just going to make you afraid of the weather. And you got to think, okay, what if it was like a government agent who took a couple crystals and just said those lines in her hand? She didn't show us that the whole town looked like that. She pointed, oh, there's some over there and there's some over there. Look, here's some in my hand. So you have to consider that whoever makes these videos is fucking with you. Or maybe part of some shill crew. So I need a little more proof, like drive across that town and show me that it's all over the whole town. And if little pieces of crystal like that are falling, wouldn't like there be footage of like them doinking off of people's cars? Return of the doink. You know what I mean? Banging off people's cars and windows and stuff. Wouldn't you be like, oh my God, it's like it's hailing, but it's pieces of plastic? Wouldn't you automatically whip out your phone if like these little plastic crystals or whatever those were started falling out of the sky? So I don't know. Not sure I buy that.
What is that?
Dude, what the fuck is this fog right now? It has the weirdest smell to it. And thick. You can't see a thing in front of you when you're driving. This might be from the storms that we've just had recently, but it has the weirdest feeling inside of it. And like I said, it's got a weird smell to it as well. But it's pretty ironic timing if you ask me. I mean, there's been a lot of sightings in the sky as of lately. I mean, even last night before this.
It's weird fog with a weird smell, man. Because it's weird.
Fog started rolling in, I saw hundreds of things moving through the sky, and a lot of people might come up with explanations like, oh, it was a satellite, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, these things were moving pretty damn fast, and they weren't exactly in formation. And it's all clear blue skies above me, and this fog goes for miles. I mean, miles. I took a road trip just a couple of minutes ago just to see how far it would actually go, and I'm talking about up to over 30 miles. But the weird thing is that I got a lot of family around the country, and every single one of them are saying that they're experiencing this fog as well. Which is kind of weird because as far as I know, these storms only hit like majority of the South thick. And is anybody else getting this weird ass fucking smell from it? Or is it just the South?
So you're telling me that an abnormal fog pops up all over the United States and is being reported in Europe as well, with these particles that are flying around that are not snow or moisture, have a chemical smell, and are leaving a white residue in some areas. And some people who have been exposed to the fog are falling ill with the same illness of inflamed sinuses, can't sleep, loss of appetite, and people think this is just a normal cold and flu and has nothing to do with this abnormal fog? Okay.
Cool TikTok. I bet you scared a lot of people. What are they supposed to do? Not breathe? What are they going to do? Overthrow the government? So what's your plan to stop this? Make a TikTok video and point at it. And then what? And then fucking breathe it. So yeah, if you do live in one of these places, get used to it and just fucking breathe it and learn to enjoy it. Because ain't nobody doing nothing to stop nothing. So if you want to make a TikTok video and point at it, you may as well enjoy it and take a big deep breath. Ain't nobody gonna stop anybody from doing anything. So even if the government did come out and say, yeah, we're spraying you with all sorts of different shit, what are you going to do about it? You know what people would do? Nothing. The government could come out and say, yeah, we are spraying you, stupid idiots. We spray you all the time with whatever we want. And you ain't going to do a goddamn thing about it. And people would be like, yeah, we know. What are people going to do? Go fucking rip down the government? Get them to stop spraying shit?
What's really going on here? Is this just a freak weather anomaly, or are we witnessing the aftermath of something much larger, something intentional?
All right, I'm done with the fearmonger video. Yeah, she was trying to be like snarky and clever, and she thought it was funny if she like held her milk while she like dropped the fear porn on us. But when you really think about it, it's like, okay, why make the video? What are you going to do about it besides drink your little fucking milk and post the video on TikTok? Nothing? Well, then big whoop-de-doo. Take a big breath of that shit, why don't you then? Am Original says, she thirsty for attention. She be thirsty and shit, yo. All right. All right. So we got through the truck attacks and the mysterious fog. So we could just talk about whatever you guys want for the next little bit. Open it up and do open topic chat. I'm not exactly dismissing it. I just didn't see enough evidence there for me to like flip out. And even if I was to flip out, what's that going to do? Nothing. See? So maybe you're controlled ops, another nameless, faceless cuck profile who wants to call me controlled ops. Yeah, I've been the one doing this since 2016. You don't see me hanging out with Alex Jones or Roseanne or any of the other fucking shills, do you? So watch who you call controlled ops, bitch. Shady Davy D says the Royal Rumble should be entertaining. That's my favorite WWE event out of all the events, the 30-man Royal Rumble. I don't really like the women's Royal Rumble because it's basically just a big transformer show at that point. But I do like the men's Royal Rumble. I think it's the best match that they do all year. And this year, it's kind of hard to predict the winner. Whereas last year, it was like kind of easy to predict that Cody was going to win the Rumble and then challenge Roman Reigns again. Whereas this year, it's like they could have Roman Reigns win the Rumble and challenge Cody for a third time. They could do Cody Roman for a third time. Or they could have The Rock win the Royal Rumble. Then they could have The Rock challenge Cody. Or they could even have Cena come back and win the Royal Rumble and then have Cena challenge Cody. Or they could even have some deal where Cody drops the belt like at Elimination Chamber or something before that, and then go in an entirely different direction and do like Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But the fact that I can't quite figure out what they're going to do means that there's a lot of options on the table for Royal Rumble. And then there's CM Punk, who's really popular. He could possibly win. So between Roman Reigns, The Rock, and Cena, and CM Punk, there's 4 possible Royal Rumble winners. and then they could totally go in a different direction and throw us for a loop completely even. So it's tough to say. Ark is asking who wins the Super Bowl, Chiefs or Lions. I'm guessing that those two teams are going to have the most money on them. And so I think there's a situation where if you were to bet Chiefs to win the whole thing and Lions to win the whole thing, then you would feel like you're pretty safe that one of those two teams is going to get there. So I'll bet you there's people out there that have Lions and Chiefs. They have money on Lions and Chiefs. And if both teams make it, they're basically guaranteed to win. So that makes me think that there's going to be so much money on the Chiefs for sure, the Chiefs, to three-peat, that they're going to come up short in the AFC Championship game. Or maybe even the second round, the divisional round, they might come up short and have it be like a stunning playoff loss. That way they can just get rid of all the money that was bet on them to win the whole thing right out of the gate. So I don't think the Chiefs even make it to the Super Bowl. If they do make it to the Super Bowl, I think they lose. And the reason I don't think there's going to be a three-peat is because the argument over who is the greatest franchise ever, they want that argument to continue forever, theoretically, because in bar rooms across America, you have drunken buffoons arguing over which franchise was the greatest. And that argument can continue if the Chiefs don't three-peat. Whereas if the Chiefs three-peat, then they're automatically considered the greatest franchise ever, the greatest dynasty of all time if they three-peat. Whereas if they come up short in the Super Bowl or lose in the AFC Championship, let's say, then the argument of who's the greatest franchise of all time as a dynasty will continue. So then the Steelers fans can say that their 70s Steelers are the greatest. The Dolphins fans can say that the 72-73 Dolphins were the greatest. You know, the Tom Brady era Patriots who won back-to-back Super Bowls, the Cowboys who won back-to-back Super Bowls, the 49ers won back-to-back Super Bowls, Broncos won back-to-back Super Bowls. So this argument will continue over who was the greatest dynasty ever, as long as the Chiefs don't three-peat. So I see the Chiefs not three-peating. But the question of who actually is going to be in the Super Bowl, I think they might try and throw us off this year and have two teams that most people don't have in their bracket. So I would guess that most everyone's going to have the Chiefs and the Lions getting there, one or the other. So I'm eyeballing two different teams, such as like Bills versus Eagles. Something that nobody's really expecting, but they can still deliver a big matchup and give us a good game. So I'm looking at possibly the Eagles getting in instead of the Lions. And I'm also looking at the Rams possibly going back again. And then I'm looking at the Bills or possibly the Ravens going for the AFC. So Bills Eagles might be a matchup that nobody's expecting that they could throw at us. And those two teams haven't played each other this season. So I'm looking at teams who haven't already played each other this season, trying to figure out which matchup they might run. And then if the Chiefs do go to the Super Bowl, I would pick them to lose against basically anyone. So I'm thinking this year it makes more sense for the NFC to win. Since the AFC just won the last two Super Bowls, I feel like this is a year where the NFC will most likely win. But I could be wrong. So I'm just going to say Bills and Eagles, just because nobody's predicting that matchup. So maybe it'll be like that year when the Rams and Bengals went and nobody was predicting that matchup. So maybe they'll do something like that this year when it looks like you have two predictable teams, Lions and Chiefs, they could serve up two completely different teams and they could just pocket all that money that's been bet on those two teams already. All right, Colin P says, so many trolls tonight, you must be doing something right. Yeah, whenever I break down a like a scripted of bang bang pow pow event or any sort of major psyop, there's always people who show up and say that I'm wrong and that it's real. That just always happens. And then there's just people who are haters who like to show up and say shit in the chat. They think that somehow it's going to hurt me or stop me, but it doesn't. So all they're doing is just helping me get more viewers and have more numbers. So thank you, haters, for showing up and watching tonight. You didn't stop me at all. And I got my message out as planned. And you influenced nobody in the chat. So thanks for being here. And thank you, Colin Pete, for your generous donations. You are always very generous when you donate. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate all the donations, no matter how big or how small. And those of you who can't afford to donate, you know, I appreciate you being here and hanging out as well. I like to think that I have the best audience on YouTube. And even though there's a few trolls that are always sprinkled in, they don't do anything to bring me down, really. Sometimes they get me a little pissed off for a minute or two. But basically, I just tell them to fuck off and then I bounce them. So really, they don't ever accomplish what they set out to do. Shish Kebab says, Rams are traitors. Still haven't forgiven them for leaving Missouri. Bro, it's fake football. You shouldn't have a favorite team. The guys who know it's fake and they still have a favorite team and still watch every Sunday, I kind of look down on those guys. And I know that there's a lot of you who like to watch my top 10, but then you go watch the NFL all day long. So you're like, Jake, yeah, I agree with you. These games are fake. But then they turn around and go watch like 6-7 hours of the NFL on Sunday while they know it's fake. I can't do it. So personally, me, I only watch the highlights and only to make the top 10. If I wasn't making money on the top 10, I wouldn't even watch the highlights. I wouldn't keep up on the NFL at all. That's just me being honest. It's mostly all about the money, and then secondary, it's about entertainment. And that's mainly what the product is for. It's A, to make lots of money, and then B, they need to get ratings and sell ad space so they can get more money. So they have to make the game entertaining enough to keep people watching longer so that the advertisers are happy with buying ad space. So yeah, it's basically once you figure out all the teams are working together to play a fake phony game and all the games are fake and phony. Once you figure that out, yeah, it's kind of hard to have a favorite team and root every Sunday. At least it was for me. Ma Ross says, Jake the asshole, do you predict Washington will ever go back to being the Redskins? FYI, I noticed the rigging so much more than I did before this season because of you. So thank you. Yeah, once I point it out, then you'll start to see it. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. but it pops out when you slow it down. So if you wanted to break down a game and go find the rigged plays, basically you just put on the highlights and then wait for a play to pop out at you. Like, a guy will break 3 tackles in a row, let's say, and take the ball into the end zone for like a long run. And so that would be a play. You'd go back, turn off the sound, turn it to half speed, watch the play at half speed with no sound. That's when it really pops out. And so if you ever want to break down one of these games, that's how I do it. I watch the highlights, and then when I see a play that looks phony, I turn off the sound, put it in half speed, and then that's how I do my breakdown. And the same applies to like pro wrestling matches. If you turn off the sound on pro wrestling and you put it at half speed, you'll see the guys like not making contact with their punches, completely not making any contact with their super kicks. So the product, pro wrestling, looks better if it's sped up slightly. So if you speed it up to a 1.25 speed, the guys actually look like they're making contact, and they actually look like they're running as fast as they can and hitting each other. So wrestling's one of those things that if you speed it up a little faster, it actually looks better. But then if you slow it down, then it looks even more phony and shitty. And the same applies with the NFL. So when you start slowing it down, it looks even more shitty. The fakery pops out even more so. Like the moon landing. If you focus on the details of the moon landing and zoom in, yeah, it's the fakest, stupidest thing ever. And you would have never noticed how fake it was when you thought the moon landing was real, because you would have never thought to go analyze the footage or scrutinize it or pick it apart. But then once you see somebody scrutinize a piece of the moon landing footage, then suddenly how fake it is pops out at you. And you're like, how did I never notice before? Good point. NGA Brett said, just arrived, but what's up, Jake? Hope all is well in this virtual reality. I actually started the show with a was up, one of my patented, long, ridiculous was ups. I did one of those today. So if you want to see me do my ridiculous was up, you'll have to go back and watch the replay from the beginning. But thank you for showing up, NGA Brett. Better late than never. But yeah, you're going to want to go back and watch the replay because you pretty much missed most everything that I was talking about earlier as far as the truck attacks and whatnot. All right, got a super chat coming in from OJ and Toothpaste. Said, Jake, do you like Mount Shasta or Fort Bragg, California? Yeah, those are cool places. I like Fort Bragg because it's near the coast. So basically any town on the coast of California, I like it, because I'm a person who likes the coast. I like the ocean. So all the coastal towns in California are preferable over the shitty valley where I live. So I live in the valley where rent is cheaper, but it also sucks. So whenever I can get over to the coast, I like to. And Fort Bragg is a cool town. So if any of you guys ever visit California, Fort Bragg is a cool town. I haven't been up to Mount Shasta in a while and spent any time up there in a while, but I definitely like Fort Bragg. And that's a different Fort Bragg than the military base where the truck attackers were stationed. Those guys were at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And Jen sent a super sticker, no message attached, but a super sticker. Thank you very much, Jen No Fear, for the super sticker. I appreciate that so much. Danielle says, I love the ocean. San Fran is my favorite city. Used to go boating and fishing there. Love it. Yeah, but some areas of the city are terrible. So I'm sure, as you know, like there's certain areas of San Francisco that are just terrible. And then, there's a lot of libtards and pride tards all over San Francisco. But there is some tourist areas that are still nice to go to, and there are some neighborhoods that aren't terrible. And so I guess there are some places of the city that are still enjoyable. I used to like going to San Francisco as a tourist when I was younger, but it seems like ever since 2020, I stopped liking that city. It's like it got overran with the most libtarded of the libtards. Kwabarha 91 says that fittest flat earther shared a video from RV Truth calling you fake. Yeah, anyone who watches RV is a fucking moron. Anyone who shares his work is an even bigger moron, and they're being used as a useful idiot. Third option, they're a shill, and they're promoting a shill. So fittest flat earther says that Prince is David Blaine and is also Cat Williams. So that means he thinks Cat Williams is David Blaine, which is just fucking ridiculous. And what evidence does he have? None. So yeah, a guy who never called any of the shills until after the final experiment went down. And suddenly this guy's flat earth famous now, being brought up. And nobody wants to take the time to look at some of his work and point out how ridiculous it is. Well, I will. I'll point out how ridiculous it is to say that Prince is David Blaine and Cat Williams. So yeah, anyone sharing RV's work, yeah, you're sharing the work of a nameless, faceless coward who literally lies about the sun and the moon's path over the earth. And I've proven him wrong over and over and over again. But people don't care. There's people who follow shills and they don't give a fuck if they lie. They don't give a fuck if they spread disinfo. And RV is one of those guys who lies and spreads disinfo, pretends to be a Christian, shows a circling sun, circling moon over the AE map, says that that's the biblical model of the earth. Meanwhile, that's straight up been debunked 6 ways from Sunday, but he still shares it. And he calls me Jake the Fake. A guy who's too chicken shit to show his face or give his name calls me fake. Go figure. Tom says, how are you a tourist in your own country? So I call myself a tourist if I'm going to go hang out in a touristy place where people from around the world visit. So if I go to Las Vegas, I'm a tourist, basically, visiting like a tourist. And Las Vegas is a tourist destination. So when I go there and I go to the Strip or downtown and go in a casino or do anything touristy, I consider myself a tourist. So if I was to go to a touristy area of California, like an area of San Francisco where a bunch of tourists show up, and then I partake in the tourist activities, shopping and sightseeing in a major tourist area. Well, I'm basically a tourist at that point. You're not a tourist if you live in one of those places and you're there all the time every day. Then you're not a tourist. So you can live in a country or even in the same state, but still go to what I consider a tourist area and partake in tourist activities. And if you do that, then you're basically a tourist. If that makes sense. And OJ Toothpaste says Flat Earth Banjo is a piece of shit shill too. Yeah, totally. He never called out the shills until the final experiment came around. And Banjo said that Jaron and Whitsitt were going to get tricked by a tractor pulling around a sun simulator. So Banjo was going to call the final experiment fake no matter what. He was going to say it was faked with a sun simulator being pulled by a tractor. And then when he was asked, like, you really think they're going to pull a sun simulator by a tractor? He goes, no, I never said that. No, that's ridiculous. No. And then when you show him the video of him saying that, then he denies that he ever lied about it. And so Banjo's over there licking RV's dick. Anytime RV uploads a video, Banjo shows up in the comments section to congratulate him and lick his taint. And those are a couple of fake Christians who like to call me fake Jake. And they like to deny the actual path of the sun and the moon. They like to say it goes in a circle over the AE map. But no matter how many times I debunk those loser bitches, they still have a following that listen to them and repeat their garbage. Ma Ross says, would you ever do a live in person on the street type interview or debates with NPCs, please? That would be entertaining. I have done that a little bit over the years. So probably 4 months ago, I found some Kamala supporters. There was like 6 of them, and they were on the corner in a beach town I was in called Santa Cruz. And so I stopped and talked to them for a minute. And so every once in a while, I'll do something like that. But I've also had some negative interactions where I've like almost got in a fight and I get outnumbered. And so the bad thing about being, you know, the conspiracy guy, the loner with the camera, is things can turn negative quick. And then you can find yourself in a situation where 2, 3, 4 people are all ganging up on you at once. And so I've actually had a situation where I was going to interview some guy in a mailbox costume on the same corner where I interviewed the Kamala voters. A couple years before that, I interviewed this dude in a mailbox costume who was supporting Gavin Newsom, and things went negative. And then some random Mexican walking by like started a fight with me, and we almost got into a fist fight. And it was like 5 people wanting to all gang up against me. And so me going, you know, doing the street interview thing, like it could have turned into a fist fight with me being outnumbered. And so I have to really watch what I do and say, because, you know, I'm the type that my mouth can get me into trouble. And one thing I don't want to do is be outnumbered in a fight. And then another thing I don't want to happen is to be arrested. So as much as I like doing man on the street stuff, and I agree I should do more of it, I have to really be careful because my mouth can get me into some serious trouble. Simone Bettina said, any more updates on the final experiment footage? How it may be fake. By the way, Jake, can you call me Simone? Or just call me Simone? Yes, I can. I won't call you Simone Bettina every time. I'll just call you Simone. And I don't have anything new to report. Some of their footage, like I said in my last stream about it, some of their footage does look real. But then there's some anomalies that we can't completely explain that seems like they're doing damage control. So yesterday, Jaron and Whitsitt both did a live stream. And they were both seemingly doing damage control the entire time and shitting on anyone who's a skeptic and gaslighting their own audience and anyone who's skeptical of the final experiment. So Jaron went live for 10 hours and Whitsitt jumped into Jaron's live stream and they had a conversation and they were like, yeah, I can't believe all these retards in the flat earth who think that we faked it. Just goes to show you that there's just a lot of retards in the flat earth community. I'm kind of glad that that this happened, and now we know, who all the retards are in the flat earth. So basically anyone who's skeptical of them, they're shitting on that person and saying that that's just one of these flat earth retards who doesn't do research. And then Witsit went on after he left Jaren's stream. He did a 4-hour stream of his own. So Jaren did 10 hours, Witsit did 4 hours. And the whole time, both of them were basically just gaslighting anyone who's skeptical. But they were getting a shit ton of viewers and a shit ton of super chats. So I think Jaren probably made, I don't know, like $1,000 in super chats while he just called his audience retarded the whole time, basically. He had this like really terrible, pissed off attitude. And meanwhile, there were people just throwing money at him. Jaren, I'm so happy you went to Antarctica and told the truth. We're always going to be here supporting you in your corner. Yeah. So Jaren made a ton of money last night in his 10-hour shill stream. And then Witsit also probably pulled in between, I don't know, 500 or $1,000 on his stream. So they made a ton of money last night just shitting on anyone who's skeptical. It's the biggest audience they've had lately. Before they went to Antarctica, both those guys, their numbers were down. But ever since going to Antarctica and returning, now their numbers are up. So apparently, if you want to have a bunch of people in your live chat and make a bunch of super chats, you got to be a no good, lying, sellout scumbag and shit on your audience the entire time. And thank you, Simone, for the donation. You've donated multiple times tonight, and I really appreciate that. Icky Dragon said those old ladies in Santa Cruz didn't look like very good fighters. No, they didn't give me any issues. In fact, the one lady that came over to talk to me was nice, and so I was respectful to her, and I didn't call them any names to their faces, and we didn't have any sort of altercation. I basically just showed that there was only 6 of them. There were no men. And then I explained to the one lady that like California is a blue state and that Kamala was going to win California. So the point of having a rally in California is pointless because California is a blue state anyway. She disagreed, but her person didn't win anyway. But the altercation I'm talking about where I almost got in a fight was from like 2 years before that. I went to Santa Cruz back in like 2021, I want to say. And so I guess it was 3 years before that. And there was a guy dressed in a mailbox outfit with a sign that said, "Re-elect Gavin Newsom." And I stopped to ask him some questions because, how often do you see a libtard dancing in a mailbox costume supporting Gavin Newsom? And so I stopped to talk to him, and he was a total libtard, just like I expected. And so just as I was exposing him, there were these little girls in the restaurant behind me that were saying, "Leave him alone." They were telling me to leave the guy in the mailbox alone. And so I told these girls to shut up. And these little girls, they were only like 14, 15, and there was like 5, 6 of them. And they were telling me to leave this guy in the mailbox alone. So I basically told these girls to shut up. And this random Mexican guy, who was not involved at all, decided to get involved because I told these girls to shut up. So then he got himself involved. And he's like, "Hey, don't talk to those girls, man." And then he called me a pedo because those girls were underage. And because I told them to shut up and mind their own business. He decided to call me a pedo, and he said that if I talk to these girls, he's going to beat me up. And so on camera, I start filming him and I say, okay, I'm filming you. So go ahead. Let's see you beat me up. And he says, if you film me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. So there I start filming him. I go, okay, come beat the shit out of me. And so he starts walking towards me and I start backing up and he starts talking shit. And so I start getting ready to throw down with this dude. Just as he gets close enough and I start putting up my hands, then he finally stops. And then we have this go back and forth where he's calling me names and I'm calling him names. And the whole thing becomes too heated for YouTube. So I had to put that video over on BitChute. So the video, if you want to watch that, of me almost getting into a fight is on BitChute. But here's the thing. The guy in the mailbox and then like 4 other dudes, they all start wanting to join in. And then random bystanders start wanting to join in. And they all take the other motherfucker's side. And nobody takes my side. So then it's like me versus like 5, 6 dudes. And then some random employee from like Starbucks runs out and says, I'm going to call the police if you don't go away. So the last thing that happens is me calling this guy a libtard Fig Newton, if you will. And he finally walked away. So I actually stood my ground and got him to walk away. And he never did come throw a punch. I was ready to fight, but I wasn't going to throw the first punch. I was going to let him on camera throw a punch at me. And then if I got him on camera throwing a punch at me, then I can defend myself legally. And he won't have any sort of recourse if I whoop his ass, which is what was about to happen. It was a dude about the same size as me. And he was like some kind of cholo-y ass Mexican type dude. And he had a girlfriend with him. And he was trying to like impress the girl by acting tough. So we almost threw down, but he eventually walked away. But some of you guys probably saw that video. A few of you probably watched it. So that's over on my BitChute channel. Anyway. Yeah, it was one of those times where a random bystander jumped in because like I first was having a little bit of a confrontation with the dude in a mailbox. He was dressed in a mailbox costume. And I was kind of making fun of him to his face. And that he's looking like an idiot, you know, like promoting a politician, Gavin Newsom, and a shitty politician at that. So I basically made fun of this dude in a mailbox, and then he bumped me. And then I told the dude in the mailbox costume, if you touch me again, I'll knock your fucking teeth out. So I actually didn't get mean or nasty until the dude in a mailbox bumped me. And I said, whoa, don't touch me or I'll knock your fucking teeth out. And that's when these little girls behind me in Starbucks who were sitting outside, they heard me say that to the guy in the costume. And they were like, leave him alone. Leave that guy alone. And I said, I said something like, oh, shut up. You know, mind your own business. And that's when this random cholo Mexican guy who was standing there watching the whole thing decided to get involved and treat me like I'm the bad guy. Yep. Good times. Yes, this girl sounded just like Elmo. You leave him alone. Leave Whitney alone. Did I miss a super chat? My bad. Let me go back and snag it. Let me go back and snag the super chat. OJ and Toothpaste says, Jaron Whitsitt, Dave Weiss, and Karen, piece of shit chills. Yes, add Eric Dubé and Mark Sargent to the list as well. Yeah, Eric Dubé calls all them guys shills, but Eric Dubé's a fucking shill as well. Eric Dubé lied about the path of the sun and the moon for a decade, And then all of a sudden now he's changing his stance, but he's not telling everyone he's wrong. Now all of a sudden he's bringing an apparent son into the equation, like I've talked about, except he's still including his fucking circling sun and circling moon, and now including an apparent sun that your eyes magically just see. So yeah, fuck Eric Dubé and his script reading ass too. The fact that he never goes live, never answers questions, proof he's another shill just like them. Aries, you know what I'm talking about. So you saw it. Yeah, he says he watched it. It's an intense video. I thought at one point that he was going to take a swing on me. And at that point, I was going to get him on camera taking a swing and then shut it off and then throw down. Because I'm not going to hold the camera and try and fight at the same time. But if I can get a dude coming at me and taking the first swing on camera, then I at least have evidence that if the cops do come, I can show police officers that, hey, this dude came at me first. Because I'm the type of dude that, like, if somebody starts shit with me, I want to be able to prove that they were the one who started it, because I'm the type of dude that if I finish it, I'll send a motherfucker to the hospital and he will require hospital attention. And then police are going to come asking like, hey, why did you put this guy in the hospital? I like to have proof. So I have put a dude in the hospital before and had to tell police exactly how I put him there. And since I was able to show the police that he came at me and was the aggressor, nothing happened to me. And in fact, the guy I put in the hospital got arrested, which is an entirely different story that happened on a different day. Anywho, Izzy Tech says thoughts on Tesla for the near future. Invest. I don't like to tell people to invest in stocks or cryptos, because if it was to go down, I don't want to be held responsible for anybody's financial ruin. So you make all your own financial decisions when it comes to stock and crypto, and I will not give out any sort of financial advice. But thank you for the donation, Izzy Tech. My one prediction that I made earlier was that perhaps this explosion, Cybertruck explosion outside of the Trump Hotel, perhaps that is symbolism that there's going to be a falling out between Trump and Elon. So you might see their relationship explode, if you will. Ma Ross says Eric Dubé forgot about him. Doesn't he eat veggies, or doesn't he just eat veggies? Yes, he promotes a vegan diet, which is unhealthy. And it's a New World Order agenda to get people to eat plants only and stop eating animal protein and animal fat. And Eric will promote that you only eat plants and that you only eat one vegan meal a day. So he's made videos bragging about how he eats one vegan meal a day, and then he promotes that sort of lifestyle to his viewers. He also makes the man with the mustache out to be the greatest guy ever. So the man with the mustache, there's definitely a conspiracy there. He definitely was not the world's most evil man. And I don't think for a second that the man with the mustache and the rest of the Nazis executed 6 million Jays, if you catch my drift. I don't buy that story at all. But I also don't buy the flip-flop account that Eric tells, where the man with the mustache is the greatest guy ever. No, if you actually look into that, man with the mustache is still connected back to government, still plays the part of a military leader. No, he wasn't a good guy trying to fight the bad, evil NWO on our behalf. That's bullshit. So Eric has pushed a lot of different bullshit between a harmful diet, the mustache man being the greatest human alive. Oh, and then his wrong information as far as the flat earth is concerned, which he has never admitted he's wrong. But now he's conveniently changing his story after a decade of telling us that the sun and moon go in a circle over the AE map. Holden with a donation, no message attached, but a donation. Thank you very much, Holden. I appreciate that. Oh, looks like he's posted the link to the BitChute video. So if anybody wants to watch the video of me almost getting a fight, I think that he is posting it right here. It's pretty intense. So somebody asked earlier if I could go and do more man on the street stuff. One of the problems with me doing man on the street stuff is that my mouth has a tendency of getting me into trouble. And I don't want to get outnumbered in a fight, and I don't want to get arrested. So it would be nice if I had a cameraman who could back me up. Like if I had a cameraman who could, who has some fighting skill, who like could back me up if I was ever to get into some trouble or whatever. You know what I mean? Help tell the story of what happened if somebody was to like attack me or, slap my phone out of my hand or whatever. It would be nice to have a secondary cameraman there to help if anything goes wrong. So if I was ever able to do some man on the street stuff and have my own cameraman, that would be the best, where I could get the best footage and have somebody there, in case anything goes wrong. OJ and Toothpaste says, Tom Grossi is the most cringe, not funny YouTuber ever. My comments always get deleted for calling him out. Yeah, you're not allowed to say that Tom Grossi's videos suck. His little taint liquor fanboys can't handle it. And of course, he deletes anybody who doesn't like his shit, who calls him out for being cringy. I'm a Chiefs fan. I think we are going to three-peat because we're the best. I'm a Chiefs fan. We're so good. We're the best. I think we are going to win the Super Bowl again. We. Isn't that funny? Still Team Pat. Truthner got lick from YouTube. I don't know what you mean by lick or like. Truthner got, he took his own channel down. I don't think that YouTube took him down. I think he took his own channel down. But Pat Truthner still stalks me with sock accounts. 100% Pat Truthner is still obsessed with me. Stalks me to this day with sock accounts. In fact, you guys, Pat Truthner went over to my channel that I created for my dog. So I created a new channel for my dog, Ralphie. Pat Truthner went over there with one of his sock accounts. And he said, this is another one of Jake's failure channels. He's going to stop posting over here within a couple of weeks. So I just started the channel for my dog. Just posted the first video on the dog's channel of me adopting the dog, basically. And Pat Truthner shows up with one of his fucking sock accounts to shit on me and the channel and say that it's a failure channel. Like, what a loser, dude. He shows up to my dog's channel to try and troll me. Okay, this is an even more ridiculous claim. The NFL paid off Pat and told him to stop. No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't pay you money and then tell you to stop like that. If they really wanted you to stop, they could like threaten you legally, send you like a cease and desist letter or something. I doubt very seriously that they'd pay you to stop. They haven't paid me to stop, and I make 10 times better content than he ever did, which is why my content got more views and people preferred me over him. So they've never paid me to stop. They've never contacted me in any way, shape, or form. Colin P says, what's the new channel name? Oh, and I've been meaning to post the second video. So probably tomorrow or the next day, I'll post the next video for Ralph. But it's Ralphie the Cute Beagle. I'll pull it up. All right. So if anyone wants to subscribe to my dog's channel, and it's basically just going to be all about Ralphie's adventures, and then I'm going to do commentary. So there'll be a little bit of my commentary, but basically it's all about the dog. So if you're not into cute puppy stuff, if you don't love dogs, then you probably won't care. But here it is. It's called Ralphie the Cute Beagle. There's only one video out so far, and it's the video where I picked out Ralph out of all the 7 puppies. And so it's all the different puppies, his brothers and sisters, and his mom, Pickle, and his dad, Barney. So I hung out on the property for like 5 days with all the puppies. So this video is all about picking out Ralph and hanging out with all the puppies. And then the next video is going to be about when I drove Ralph across, or halfway across the United States, back from Kansas back to where I live here in California. So that'll be the next video. And so I'm thinking tomorrow I'll post the new video of Ralphie and me driving across the country. I got some good footage of us like stopping and taking walks. And then the third video, I took Ralphie to Monterey and Santa Cruz so he could see the beach. And so that one's the best. So Ralphie's seeing the beach for the first time. And then we find this big ass crab on the beach. And then he meets like 3 other dogs. So the best one is coming up soon. Maybe in a few days, I'll post that one. So new content coming soon from Ralph. So subscribe to Ralph's channel and watch the first video. And I should have the next video up tomorrow. All right. Yeah. So I'll be uploading a lot more content over there in the future. I have a bunch of videos in my phone of the dog. And so one of the ways I can get rid of those videos and keep track of and show the dog's life and the dog's adventures. You know, I thought if he had his own channel, then I can, you know, show all the fun that the dog's having. And if anyone enjoys that sort of thing, then, you know, who knows? Maybe one day he might get more views and more subs than me. There's other channels about dogs that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and get millions of views. So who knows? Maybe one day Ralphie will have hundreds of thousands of subs and be getting millions of views, and who knows? But it's got to start with video number 1. Oh, did I miss a super chat? I may have. Let me go back and grab it. Oh, here it is. Jesse G says, why does the suspect picture look AI generated? Well, the picture on my thumbnail is a bit pixelated, so maybe that's why it looks AI generated. But they did show the guy talking, and it did look like a real person. So there is video of him. I guess he was like also a realtor or something, or that's the story that they're telling us. So there's video of him talking, but I guess it could be AI generated because AI is getting so good that able to create humans on screen interacting with the camera, and it's looking more real. So it's getting harder and harder to tell the difference between a genuine human and a AI created human on screen. But there is a video of the New Orleans truck attack suspect talking, and I showed it in my stream earlier. All right. Well, I've been on here for over 3 hours now, and I pretty much said what I wanted to say, and I'm getting a little tired and hungry now, so I'll go ahead and jump off here and let you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody who hung out here and chat with me. And thank you to all the haters who hate watch tonight and all the lurkers. And everyone who donated, an extra special thanks to all of you who donated tonight. Thank you all so very much. And until next time, this is Jake the Asshole, y'all. And I will catch you guys in the next stream or the next video. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Peace out. Bye-bye.